Good evening, I'm Bill Mulholland and welcome to Good Sports. Tonight we're going to continue our four-part series, which will be part 3 on the baseball career of Pawtucket's greatest athlete, Hank Soar. We're going to be talking about Hank's baseball career playing for the Pawtucket Boys Club League, his 2 state championships with Pawtucket High, his college career at Providence College playing baseball, and his 2-year stint with the Pawtucket Slaters, one of the top amateur teams back in the late 30s, early 40s. And later in the show, Hank's going to talk about his early years as a Major League Baseball umpire for the American League and reminisce about some of the great players of the 1950s. Welcome back to Good Sports, Hank.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you. We talked about football back in December. We went over and talked about your basketball career in March. Now we're into baseball, 2-part series, so it should be great fun. Let's start right off. Your first experience playing organized baseball, it was in the mid-1920s with the Pawtucket Boys Club Baseball League. Where did you play your games? And Hank, how different was the equipment and the game back then as it is compared to now?
Well, back when I played with the Pawtucket Boys Club, they didn't have any little leagues or anything like that. You had to go out and find some place to play. I played baseball at the old Joseph Jinks High School, junior high school, I should say, on Broadway, and we had a gang, and we wanted to play ball so bad that we joined the Boys Club, and matter of fact, we played down at the old Metropolitan Ballpark. That's next to where the Boys Club is down on School Street now.
Sure.
Yeah, down the bottom there.
That was still around then?
Oh, yeah.
Ball field?
Yeah, it was a good ball field too then.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't Little League like they made it now. I mean, it was a regular out-and-out thing. Yeah. Oh, well, what the Boys Club used to do, they bring the bats and the balls, and we never had bats or balls or gloves or anything. Matter of fact, I won a batting championship that year with .555, and I got my first pair of baseball shoes.
Was it as being the as a batting crown?
Yeah, they are crowns.
Neat.
So I at least I had a bat. But then I later played with the Stanton Post in Central Falls, an American Legion team. I played a couple of years up there, and I don't know. And then at the age of 17, I started playing with the big guys.
Yeah. Now, what was the equipment like? I mean, the gloves, you'd look at the old gloves, and they were so much smaller than these huge mitts that they have now, right?
Well, some were, a catcher's glove was big, but it was, instead of being soft like the catcher's gloves today, it looks like a first baseman's glove, the way they catch those balls one hand all the time. We always caught the ball and then covered the ball up, and so it wouldn't bounce out of the glove. Yeah. But the old gloves were so stiff. We used to have to soak them and put oil on them to keep them, loosen them up. Yeah. And the bats,
bats were wooden back then,
right? Well, we always played wooden bats.
Yeah.
I never played with a metal bat in my life. And we had, they also gave you the Boys Club gave you the mask and chest protector and things like that. When I used to catch in those days. And we had a good team because all through my school league, I played with the same bunch.
Yeah, and that was all neighborhood teams, right?
Yeah, right.
Different neighborhoods against different neighborhoods with the Boys Club League?
Not necessarily. It was a gang that went to school with, most of the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most of the guys, well, all these guys went to, they were in my classes in Jinks, and we used to play down at Golf Lot down there. Yeah. And back at the high
Fountain
school.
Street, yeah?
Yeah, we played there.
But no coaches, right? Back
then? No. That was one thing about the Boys Club teams. You know, today we got managers with the Little League, and some of these guys that never played ball in their life are telling a guy how to play ball and he don't know nothing about it in the first place. We always had one guy in the gang, what we called our coach. Yeah. But he was a player. Maybe not a good one, but he was a player. And of course, we had a good team, and we go out, and if a guy made an error, we pat him on the back and say, come on, let's go. To be a good ball player, a football player, a basketball player, you got to play the game 1,000. I used to get mad when it got dark at night because I wanted to play ball all the time.
Well, let's move on to your high school career. You played 3 years at Pawtucket High.
Yeah,
Junior, senior year, just like basketball, football, you were all state.
Right.
And in your last 2 years at Pawtucket High, you won the state championship.
Right.
Now, give our Good Sports audience a feel of what high school basketball was like in 1932 and high school baseball, I'm sorry,
right.
in 1932 and 33.
Well, we had a good team. We had 4 regular ball players that had played on the team. Morris Fabricant, let's see, Lefty LaFay, Chuck Connors, and myself were the backbone of the whole team.
Yeah.
And we won the state championship in my junior year, and then the senior year we played the games, and we beat everybody, but we went up to Mount St. Charles to play a game for the championship, and we got beat by 1 point. But a week later, we found out that we won the championship. They had a guy 22 years old pitching against us. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
So later, this guy used to pitch up there, and he was striking everybody out. But I used to love a guy that had a fastball, and this guy had a good fastball. When I played in the amateur leagues and stuff in the Twilight League, this guy would be pitching. Boy, I got more hits off him than I owned him.
Now you were a catcher for. Now here's your team.
Yeah.
Right. And you got Pod Pierce up over here.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right.
And where's your murderer's row that you just talked about?
The 4 guys are right here. Let's see here. Right here.
Right in the middle.
Fabricant, me, Lefty LaFay, and O'Connor. Jimmy O'Connor.
Now, and you see in the background, you had this picture taken at your home field, which was the old high school field, right?
Right. That's York Avenue in back where all the buildings are back there.
Where the Rojacks is now, right?
Yeah, just about
sure.
there. Yeah, right, Rojacks. No, Rojacks may be a little bit over what there was city yard. Yeah, they had part of it.
Yeah.
And
so, what was high school baseball like back then? Was St. Rayfield still around at that point in time?
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah.
Was that the big rivalry?
We had too good a team for St. Rayfield at the time.
Oh, did you?
My friend, the fellow I played with later, Omar Landry, he went to St. Rayfield, and we played college baseball together, and also played American Legion ball together. And we had a pretty good team in those days. East Providence had a couple of good pitchers, but we handled them all.
And you were the first baseman for the team?
Yeah.
You ever pitch? I mean, you were a big guy. You were 6'1", 6'2".
Well, I didn't need a pitcher. Fabricant and Lefty were the best pitchers there was.
Oh, were they? And Lefty moved on to professional baseball, right?
Yeah. The first time he played with Holy Cross, the first time at bat, he hit a home run with the Red Sox.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Now, Pod Pierce was your coach in football and also in baseball. What type of influence did he have in your umpiring career in the later years?
He taught me everything I knew about baseball, football, right to the point. He wouldn't just tell you, well, you got to do this, do that. He'd go to the fine point. He also used to take Lefty and Morris and Connors and myself and take us to Boston to the games and show us the fine points of the game. So when I went into umpiring, I didn't have to have anybody tell me. And football the same way. He did the same thing. Matter of fact, in football, I got picked as a cockiest rookie in camp because I knew all the stuff. And when I went into umpiring, they couldn't pull the wool over my eyes on anything because Pod Pierce was a stickler on rules and made sure that you were in the right position and everything.
And he was a former Major League ball player, you told me about,
yeah,
right?
he was also a professional football player, played with the Bears, and then he also played shortstop for the Chicago Cubs. Yeah. And Pod was I'll tell you one story about him. He used to be out there when we have batting practice. In practice before, when we wasn't playing a game, we'd be out there hitting. He loved to pitch batting practice. He'd be up there and he'd throw his leg way up in the air. And he said, you bunch of cream puffs, you couldn't hit my stuff. And he'd give you this baloney and stuff like this. Yeah. But we had a guy named Butch Moore, who was later a state trooper. Butch was also a football player with us. But he's not on that team, but he's on one of the other teams there. And he's up there pitching, and we used to, when Pod threw a ball out of the, we really jump on all us guys. Come on, get the ball over the plate. He'd say, come on, he used to give it to us that way. Come on, a bunch of cream puffs, you can't hit. This Butch, he threw this to Butch, he said, you powder puff, you can't hit me, and he throws his leg up in there, throws the ball in, hits the line drive, hits Pod in the ankle, and Pod lays on his back and he's holding his leg. Oh, it's broke, it's broke, it's broke. So he used to have a habit of, if we were playing football, go out and if he got knocked down, he's get up. You got to play. I got nobody to put in. You got to get up. So we all rushed out, all the football players, we're kicking him. Get up. We haven't got a pitcher. And it was broke. It was broke. I never forgot that one.
So Pot had a good sense of humor too, though, right?
Great. I'll tell you, he was a great guy to play. Even in my late years when I was umpired, he would come and sit and talk to me. I'd go to a banquet or something. I had to sit with him and talk to him.
Yeah.
And
So pretty much your mentor in your early years.
Right.
Hank, huh?
And he had always impressed on, if you're going to do the thing, do it, but keep doing it and work at it, and work at it. And I always did,
Yeah. Now, Hank, after high school, you received a athletic scholarship off to Providence College to play football and one other sport. You chose baseball. What stories do you have of your college baseball career?
Well, a year we went to we went to East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania to play a game. We played a game there. We played another game at Princeton. We played another game at Villanova. And there was another game someplace else, and I can't recall where it was offhand. But I was playing ball. We were playing ball, and we stayed at a hotel, a Governor Clinton hotel. We stayed there, and when we were staying there, Connie Mack was in there with his ball club.
Yeah.
They were playing in New York.
Philadelphia A's. Right?
Yeah, and I was going out and played the game at Villanova that day, and out in left field in Villanova was a bunch of trees. Well, on the Villanova team, there was a guy named Frankie Scaff. Frankie was a friend of mine, came from Lowell, Massachusetts. I knew him very well. And Frankie Scaff could put that ball in those trees pretty good in the batting practice. So I said, well, by God, I'm going to put one in those trees. And I hit in practice, I got two in the trees. Now, I come up the game, and I struck out 3 times. And I finally got a hit. And when I came back to the hotel, Connie Mack was sitting in the chair in the lobby, and we walked by him, and as he stopped, I said, young man, he said, a big fellow, that was, he said, I want to see you. He said, how'd you do today? I said, I struck out 3 times. He said, every pitch was right here, wasn't it? And that's just where it was.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He had a good eye for baseball.
Yeah. They always want you to get the pitch down. And of course, I was trying to get that home run, And I never forgot that. He did it. Later, when I umpired baseball, Connie Mack went up to Devon's when I was in the Army. And Connie Mack brought his baseball team up to play Devon's, and we had a good baseball team up there. Quite a few major league ball players and stuff like that.
It's during World War II, right?
Yeah, during World War II. I umpired the game.
Yeah.
When I got through the game, we had a mess hall, and we went to have lunch. Of course, we had a big spread for the guys, and everything else. And after the game was over, and I umpired the game behind the plate, and we had another guy, Hank Sperling, who was not an umpire, but he umpired with me all the time on the bases. So when the game was over, Mr. Mack came over to me and he said, I want to see you, young man. He said, don't I know you? I said, well, I don't know whether you know me or not, but I said, I met you at the Governor Clinton Hotel. He said, yeah, and you're the guy that struck out. He remembered it. He remembered it. He said, you did a magnificent job. He said, what league are you in? What league? Well, in those days, I was before I went in the Army, I was in the New England League. There was amateur league baseball. I said, I'm in the New England League. He said, you belong in the big leagues. I said, Mr. Mack, if you can get me in the big leagues, see what you can do. He said, I will. And by God, he is one of the guys that helped me to get in the big leagues.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, so now, probably during your college baseball career or after, did you go with the Slaters?
It was before.
Before?
Let's see. No.
No, it had to be after.
It had to be after, yeah.
All right, so you played with the Slaters for 2 years. What was the image of baseball like back in the 30s? I mean, there was lots of teams, and there was no TV, very little radio at that point in time. So really, you must have had some big crowds coming in. And where did you play, and what type of players were out there, Hank?
Well, there were college players, most of them. A guy like Houston was our shortstop, and Archie Allen was a center fielder. They both played with Springfield College. We got a lot of college players,
Yeah.
And Leo Marion, Providence College, played first base for the thing. And we played at the old high school field on Pawtucket, on Armistice Boulevard.
And what photo do we have up here, Hank? This is not of the Slaters, but this is General Cable. One of your
That's General Cable, and I was 17 years old when I played with the big guys.
Over right here, right?
No, yeah, one more height over.
Right there.
Yep. I was 17 years old, and next guy to me was Reddick. He was a pitcher from Hope High School. And then there was Charlie Fletcher, Bob Otis, Red Sullivan, Chuck Roberts on the end, Danny Norton on the bottom left corner. I don't know the guy behind me. He was a shortstop. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
And Lesia was a catcher. Lee Harper was the next guy, a great friend of mine. And I think the name was Cole, second baseman, right there between. And the next one was Danny Norton, the twin brother of Barney Norton.
Yeah.
And then McKenna was down in the corner. That was the first big gang I played with.
Was it?
Yeah. We played it. We also, our home field was the old Pawtucket High School field out there.
So amateur baseball back in the 30s, that was big time, wasn't it?
Every time you turned around, every lot you see, the kids were always playing baseball.
Yeah.
That's why we got so many good guys that could play baseball. That's what's happening today. We don't have enough lots where these kids can play.
Play the sandlot baseball.
Yeah,
like we always do.
that's great. Over the park, your ball fields and everything.
Yeah.
You got there, because I go by there, that you can't get near the place. There's so many. You can't even park your car. Never mind. That's great.
But it's different, sandlot to the
Oh, yeah.
organized and the coaches.
But I played, and I didn't only play in one league. I was in the Pawtucket Amateur League, which played on Saturday. I played with the Providence Amateur League, played on Sunday in Kinsley Park. I played on Monday in North Attleboro Twilight League. The next day I'd play up in Attleboro in the Twilight League. Then I also play in the Twilight League in Providence.
Kept you a busy guy.
That's
Yeah.
why. Well, that's how it goes. You got to do it. You got to do it if you're going to do it. Make any career of the thing.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
And so talking about careers, so you decided not to go into being a professional baseball player. Instead, you went to become a professional football player. But what was your first, let's talk about your umpiring career. All right, so what was your first paid first paid umpiring job that you had, Hank?
Oh, I had just got married. It was 1937. I had just got married, and I was working. I was after, and I went away that first season, and I came back after the season was over. And the spring of the year, I was playing ball, and I was working in the Seekonk Lace Mill, and you'd work 2 days and loaf a day. And my grandfather was a superintendent of the place, and so this Jack Martin, who was the sports writer for the Providence Journal, called me one day. He said, "What are you doing, Hank?" I said, "I don't know, just hanging around." I said, "I was supposed to go to work, but no work." He said, "Will you do me a favor?" I said, "Certainly, I'll give you a favor for you. What do you want?" He said, "I want you to umpire a ball game." I said, "Where?" He said, "High school game." He said, "There's $5 in it." Well, $5 in those days, you could buy 10 gallons of gas for $1 in those days.
Yeah, and work what, for 5 or 6 hours?
Oh,
in
yeah,
order to get
and $5. I said, "Well, gee, I don't know nothing about umpiring a game. I don't know the rules." He said, "Don't tell me you don't know the rules." Says, "You've been playing, you've been helping the umpires out ever since you've been playing the game." And he said, when he said the $5, I said, "Where's the spot?" He said, "At Aldridge High School in Warwick."
Yeah.
And it was a place across the street from the school where it went down an embankment like this, and the field was there. And I didn't know. I said, "Well, who's to Jack Martin?" I said, "Who's the coaches?" He said, "A couple of school teachers." I said, "What do they know about baseball?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I don't think they know too much about it. They're probably just getting the money to coach." So anyway, I had a brown suit and a blue hat, a baseball cap, and a pair of baseball shoes. This Lee Harper had some umpiring stuff. I borrowed his mask, his chest protector, and indicator. Went down for the game, and I'm sitting up on the top of the hill before the game. I'm there half an hour before the game, you know. And I said, "Well, I got to go." So down the hill I go, and who do I meet? The two coaches, and I know them. Yeah. And I know they didn't know nothing about baseball. They didn't play it or anything else. "Hello, Tommy. Hi, Johnny. Jim, how are you?" "Good." And they said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to umpire the game." I said, "What do you know about baseball?" The one guy said, "Nothing," and the other guy said, "Nothing." Well, they started playing my rules right then and there, and I never changed them since.
Is that
kept with the same rules all the time.
And you were hooked once you get behind the plate, huh?
Yeah, and then I got back, and Jack Martin called me. He said, "You did a hell of a job. Great." He said, I got 4 more jobs for you this week." So that's how I got started. And I went from schoolboy to amateur league to the college league, And I couldn't get all the gangs in. You know, they had different teams that want me to go to like private schools. You know,
Yeah.
I couldn't get in my schedule. The days weren't long enough.
Yeah. Well, let's jumpstart now right over to your first professional game. Let's talk about your first Major League Baseball game that you umpired. It was Yankees against Cleveland.
Oh boy.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah. That was 1970.
1950.
1950. You're right.
Yep.
You're right. Yeah, 1950. I was working this game, and I'm on third base. Bill Mulholland is on second base. Billy Summers is on first base. And I forget who was behind the plate.
You're nervous?
No, I wasn't nervous
No?
because I had played football and pro, and I played against some of the better football players in the country or the world, and that didn't bother me one bit. But anyway, I'm on third base, and the other guy said, just take your time out, Hank. I didn't have to be told. I know how to umpire those games. But anyway, I had been in the minor leagues long enough to do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm out there, and Rizzuto gets on first base, and Rizzuto's got a high-pitched, squeaky voice. And McGowan, who's been in the league about 30 years at the time, he's the top guy in the league, you know. Nobody's going to question his decision, but Billy had a diabetic problem, and he kind of fall asleep sometimes and things. You had to keep him awake a little bit.
Yeah.
And he, anyway, Rizzuto's on first base, and he used what they call a delayed steal. That's not the one where the pitcher throws the ball. It's the one where the catcher throws the ball back to the pitcher. Rizzuto runs up and slides into second base, and he was in there by 14 miles.
Yeah.
McGowan comes over and calls him out. And Bill right away knew the minute he called him out that he kicked the play. So he just turns around, he starts walking back, and Rizzuto's jumping like on a monkey on a string. He's bopping down. Where'd he tag me? Where'd he tag me? Where'd he tag me? And Bill, of course, is insulted. He's called him, and he puts this wiggle on as he walks by and looks over the. He said, right in the womb, dearie, right in the womb. Oh, jeez. I'm on third base. I said, oh, my God, what kind of a league am I in? Yeah, that was my baptism in the big league.
Your first game,
Yeah.
huh?
I got broken right.
I guess so. Now, Hank, you were a full-time American League umpire from 1950 to 1971 when you retired at age 57, but you still continued in Major League Baseball umpiring from 71 to 80, filling in part-time, and also was the assistant supervisor for the American League umpires. What type of life was it to be a professional umpire during those 30 years, Hank?
Well, everybody thinks it's really a great setup. It's a lousy house. I never saw my kids grow up. My girls grew up. I got one girl over 50 years old and another one over 40-some years old. They're both school teachers. And I had to build a house down at the beach so that they would have the summer at the beach.
Hank, real quickly, what is this?
That is a Japanese ball reporters came in and took my picture when I was going to work the plate that day, and I'm rubbing the balls up down the bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm blowing up to protect the hair. We used to have the ones with, and I'm putting my shin guards, what do they call it? Leggings on, they call them.
Leggings, yeah.
And this is in a Japanese paper.
Yeah, right.
You want to read it's written in Japanese, it's also written in English.
This is a day in the life of an umpire, right?
Yeah, right, the day, yeah.
So the life was not that, I mean, it must have been glamorous for you, but it wasn't easy as far as family life and everything else?
Well, that's right. The family, you forget the family. I didn't even know my kids were sick when they were sick and stuff like that. But it was a good life. At least they didn't have to worry about money, food, or anything like that. Anything they wanted, they could get, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a good life. And if you're going to be an umpire, a good umpire, you got to work at it, you know. And I enjoyed every minute of it. People used to say, "You out there, and you're grinning and laughing." Not laughing, but I really enjoyed it. And I, you know, like you said, I umpired straight through for 22 years. Yeah. And then I could have gone to 8. I could have gone another 8 years, but Corwin didn't want to pay the money, you know. For 4 years there, 3 years there, he kept me. I got top money, he said. Yeah, $15,000 for top money. I went to him and said to him one time, I said, I got 2 girls in college, I can't make it on this. He said, be quiet, I'll give you an extra couple $1,000. But that still didn't cut the mustard. Today, a guy breaking in got $75,000 starting that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
As an umpire?
Yeah, right.
Let's jump 1950s.
Yeah.
All right. Now you were umpiring through the 50s. Let's talk about some of the ball players. Mickey Mantle.
Mickey Mantle. Mickey was I like Mickey. I always liked Mickey pretty good. But I had a game one time where I'll never forget it. It was in New York, and he was down the mouth. I said, "What's the matter with you, Mickey?" He said, goddamn, well, give me something." He was moaning about, not me, Casey Stengel was moaning about. So anyway, he went up to bat, and he hit the, he said, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "After the game, I want to talk to you." I said, "Fine." So anyway, after the game was over, I said, "What the hell do you want, Mickey?" He said, "Look, will you do me a favor?" I said, "Yeah, I can. If I can do it, I'll do it. What is it?" He said, "Will you throw me out of the game tomorrow?" I said, "What's up? Throw you out of the game? What are you going to do?" He said, "Well, I'll tell you." He said, "My wife's coming in from Oklahoma, and she's got about 13, she said she's got, about 13 bags. So he said, I want to go down and meet her at the train in case he won't let me go." So he said, when I get in the game, he says, I'll say something smart to you. I said, run me out of the game. Well, I said, I'll see what I could do. So what does he do? We start the game up, and he hits a triple. So instead of me going from first base around the second base to third base, the triple went out to left field. So the left field umpire ran out there, and he left the thing open. So I took and scooted across the infield and got over him, and Mickey slid in the game. I called him out, and he jumped up in the air. And
was he out?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was out. He jumped up in the air, and I said, "Get out of here!" He walked out down out of the corner of my mouth. "Thanks, Hank." Down to the dugout.
Now, the Stengel must have come out in your face at that
No,
time.
he didn't. He didn't know. We changed the game, went on again, and Mickey, when they went out, there was only 8 guys on the field instead of 9. We had to go get another guy, go out and play. He thought that, well, Mickey had the bad legs, see, and if he hurt himself, he could walk off. He thought that's what happened, but it didn't.
Oh.
So next day, Mickey comes out, and he said to me, "I lied to you yesterday." I said, "What do you mean you lied to me?" He said, "My wife didn't have 13 bags, she had 17 bags." He had to buy a cab to get her back to the hotel. But I never forgot that.
Great hitter, though, wasn't
Yeah.
he? Tonight, we're going to finish our 4-part series on Pawtucket's greatest athlete, Hank Soar. On our last show, we went over, Hank talked about his baseball playing career and a little bit about his umpiring career, and we're going to continue his umpiring career talking about the players of the 1950s and 60s that Hank was so intimately involved with on the baseball field. Hank, welcome back to Good Sports for the 4th and last time.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you back. Last time you talked about Mickey Mantle. Let's move on to the catcher on Mickey's team in the 1950s, Yogi Berra.
Yogi was quite a character. I had a game one time, I worked on the plate, and I forget now who it was. It was a Cleveland pitcher. And it was a left-hander, big left-hander, and I can't think of his name. But anyway, you had to watch this guy all the time, and he got a spitter someplace, and he took that ball and he threw it up, and it's just like the ball come up and it was a strike all the way, nothing about it, no question about it. But you don't call a ball strike or ball till the ball hits the plate.
Yeah.
And this ball comes up to the plate, and just as it gets to the plate, it dips down. Yogi's at bat, and so I missed the play. I called a strike on the play. Yogi backs out, and he said, "Oh, gee, Hank," he said, that ball was too low. He said, I said, "Yogi, that ball was right in your kitchen. Oh, your kitchen's right where your belt is, see."
Yeah.
I said, "That ball, you'd hit it out of the ballpark." He said, "Was it that good?" I said, "Yeah, that was that good." And I walked out to the pitcher, and I said, "If you throw another one of them things, boy, I was going to throw you right bodily out of this stadium." He said, "Wasn't that a hell of a drop?" He said. I said, "I'll drop you." So anyway, we go back, and he turns around and he gets another spitter, and he throws it, and Yogi cowtails the ball, and he puts it in the upper deck. Now he's going around the bases. And when he gets on third base, he's coming in. He look at me, Hank, you were right. You were right 100. I said, I've been trying to tell you that all day. You won't believe me. He counted him right up the stands.
Did he?
Yeah, he threw that same spitter. Yogi was
the pitcher went over through the spitter right after he...
Yeah, after me telling him not to do it. He didn't throw any more after that because Yogi hit it so far.
It was on to him.
Yeah.
Ted Williams, probably the greatest hitter in Major League Baseball history.
Ted was the greatest hitter in baseball as far as I was concerned, and a lot of other guys, everybody. But anyway, we're out in 1955. I was in an All-Star game out in Milwaukee, and after the game was over, Billy Summers was with me and Eddie Runge, and we were the three umpires in the American League working the game. And we got on the plane, the charter plane, going back to Boston, and Ted's in the back of the plane. He's got 3 seats right in the back, and he's, come on back here, come on back. He loves to talk hitting and strike zones and all this stuff, and he'll argue with her on anything. And so we argued back with him, and I said, oh, Ted, you're talking about the way the pitchers throw up. He can read the writing on the ball. I never could read the writing on the ball. Lucky to see it coming in there. They came in so fast. But anyway, I said, I can call a ball 6 inches outside the plate, and you, if you're batting left-handed on the outside of the plate, the other side, and you can't tell me whether it's hit the plate, the corners, or anything, it's that far out. He said, I can tell you. I said, baloney, I don't think you can tell me. So anyway, we go into Boston. We work the series, that game. We was in there for 2 series, whatever the teams we had in there, and then we took off. Well, when I got behind the plate, I didn't do anything to Ted that time. I forgot him, just did it on purpose, missed it, went away for a couple of weeks, and now I'm back again. Now we got a game with Ted batting, and he's got 2 balls on him, and the next ball is about 6 inches outside the plate, and the score is 15-2 in favor of the Red Sox. I said, here's the spot. Strike 1. Ted backs out of the thing, reaches down and gets some dirt, rubs it on his hand, and out of the corner of his mouth, Hank, 6 inches outside, and that's just where the ball was.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Did it floor you at that when you said that?
I said, oh boy, you're in trouble. Deep trouble, too. Now, I'm telling the story, and Eddie Yost used to be playing with the Senators, and later was a coach at the Red Sox. I was telling him that used to call him the walking man. He could tell you where the ball went. So he said, when I was telling the story, he said, Hank, I can tell too. Well, I did the same thing to him. I went into Washington and I skipped him. As a matter of fact, I skipped him twice, and I come back to Washington, and this game was another one out. They were ahead by so many points, and the ball was 3 inches outside, and I called a strike. Now, Eddie backed out and said, 3 inches outside, Hank, old boy. Here we go again. That's the only 2 guys ever do. If Mantle was up there hitting, you could call that one that far outside, and he said, just hit the outside, just hit the outside. You always yes him, see?
But Teddy Ballgame, I mean, he had just great eyesight that he was known for, huh?
Yeah, he don't let him be fooled. He knew what that ball was doing all the time.
Yeah. Now your thoughts on Joe DiMaggio?
Joe was
you were umpiring when Joe was still active, right?
Yeah. And he, of course, he said, I know you. He said, I go over the Sundays and watch you play football.
Oh, the Giants.
The Giants.
Yes.
Right there. But anyway, Joe was the best ball player all around. Williams was the best hitter in the baseball. But Joe was so clever. I mean, he could throw like heck. He could run like heck. He could hit. He could field.
Full package.
He could do it all.
Yeah. Jimmy Pearsall. I mean, you hear about Pearsall, the movies, just a real wacko, crazy type guy. You got a Pearsall story?
Yeah, I got one that I was on second base this day. Pearsall's out playing center field in New York. Just happened in New York. Everything happens in New York. And we're going to start the game up. We're in about the 8th inning, and I can't find. Look out, and there's only a left fielder and a right fielder, no center fielder. Where the heck is Pearsall? So I looked around, couldn't find him. I looked at the dugout, couldn't find him. I said, time. And I run out, and they got monuments out in the back there with
Babe Ruth
and
Gehrig.
Sure. Gehrig and I. And where is he? He said, behind us, sitting down. I was smart. He said, I'm tired. You're tired, get out there. That's what yeah. Another time he was up on he climbed up on the wall in Boston.
On the backstop? I mean, that's
No,
one
the
that
wall, the regular big wall. You got up there. They had a
green
ladder.
monster?
Yeah, green monster. Yeah, yeah. He was sick. He was sick.
Yeah.
But he got over.
And he and Jackie Jensen, you have.
He and Jackie Denson were gonna. They were gonna fight. Come on, come on. No, I said, you two pocket heads, you can't. Neither one of you can lick a plate. Get out of here. That was the end of it. They wanted me to get out, but I held back first. I wouldn't get in there.
Now, World Series. You went over and was an umpire in 5 World Series from 1950 to 71. 1956, the 1956 World Series was known for Don Larsen's perfect game. You weren't behind the plate, but you were on the field on that game.
First base.
Talk a little bit about that.
I was on first base in that game. As a matter of fact, my wife, the day before, I took her out at 10 o'clock in the morning for the game, and she had to sit in the stands for about 3 hours, all by herself and waiting. And of course, when I was playing football, she used to come up and take the train down to the polo grounds to the games, and she knew a way to. And so when the day of the game, I said, I got to get out. I had to get out early, so she said, I'm not going. I'll get out later. So by the time the fifth inning was, she wasn't up in the stands up there. I kept the 5th inning she came in. That's how fast the game went.
Is that right?
Yeah. And
Any
then,
close calls in that game
that
you had at first?
Jackie Robinson hit one, and it was about 6 inches above the bag, and I had to call it. And I called him out. He just hit the bag and just run right around, went away.
Never said a word.
Not a word. Not a word.
Yeah.
And a matter of fact, that fall, I went to a banquet on Clem Labine up in Woonsocket, and Jackie there. Jackie and I were sitting together at the head table. And I said, Jackie, I said, you gave me a close play. He said, I tried like heck, Hank, he said, but I couldn't make it. So I didn't have it. I was out of steam, he said. Yeah.
Now, Bob Feller. Let's talk about some of the pitchers of the 1950s. Feller was known for his incredible fastball. And so what was it like behind the plate watching a Feller fastball or watch Feller pitch?
Well, you know, I love fastball pitches because they either strike or it's a ball. No question about it. Yeah. It's a strike or a ball.
Well, we've got this picture up now, Hank. What is this picture? And then we'll get back to the Feller. Who's this? The handsome guy in the middle?
That's me, I think. No, it's me.
And you got two local boys, right?
Mike Rock is the Detroit one.
Yeah.
On this left-hand side.
Yeah.
And what the heck is that?
Dave Stenhouse.
Dave Stenhouse. Yeah.
Right.
Those are all Rhode Island boys. Matter of fact, Dave Stenhouse beat the Yankees one year, and the only reason he beat them because I was behind the plate. No, I didn't help him out.
Well, nice trivia question. Dave Stenhouse, he was the first rookie to ever start an All-Star game. 1960s, the second All-Star game of the series when they had 2 All-Star games per year back in the 50s and 60s. He was the first rookie ever to start an All-Star game.
I had one of those 2 years. I had to go to California. That was one of them I was trying to remember.
Oh, is that right?
In the old Coliseum, I umpired the game.
The LA Coliseum?
Baseball in the Coliseum.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, the Dodgers played there before they went into the quarters they're in now.
Into the Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Feller. You like the fastball pitcher?
Oh, yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, he could really hum that ball. But he was a great curveball pitcher.
Oh, was he?
He throw that fastball up there, and you'd think it was going to be a fastball. Oh, it'd shoot off like a shot. Yeah. And as he got older, he got better.
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now let's move into the 60s. Again, here you are. You know, you umpired the entire 60s. Roger Maris, 1961. What was Roger Maris like, Hank?
One of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. He was a great guy. I guess he's a great guy because he used to take me if I was going to go out to Kennedy Airport. He lived right near there, so he'd take me out in this car, ride out with him.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. He was good, a great guy.
Would they allow fraternization? That's what they call that.
There's no fraternization.
No.
You know what to do. Fraternization is when they all hang around together in one spot. You know, players. We won't allow that with on the field. You know.
Yeah.
But a thing like going out to a game, catch a plane in a hurry, that would be nothing. Yeah. But he'd do it all the time for us.
Now, what was so special about Maris in '61 that he was able to hit 61 home runs?
He just had he said his eyes were great, and he said he felt better than any time. And he said he never felt good for a few years there, but he was clubbing that ball, and I could see he was, you know, he looked great. And it was a friendly rival between he and Mantle.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Mantle hits 54, Maris hit 61 and 61.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
They were great.
Now, you got two of the big power hitters in the 1960s who played for the same team, Washington Senators, Frank Howard, who was a huge man, and Harmon Killebrew.
Well, those are two of the longest hitting ball players in baseball, I would say.
Yeah?
Because I think Killebrew would hit a ball and would go right straight up in the air and then land out of the ballpark. And the only one I ever see that do that when I was a boy, I used to go to ball games, Babe Ruth.
Is that right?
Babe Ruth hit a ball the same way, way up in the end. And
the ball would just carry as it's going elevating.
It got up so high, I don't know the wind blew it or not, but they would go. But Killebrew, Frank Howard would hit it on a line, boom, and he hit one place, and Washington at old Griffith Stadium, and he broke the seat.
Did he really?
Oh, that's how powerful.
He was a big guy, right?
Oh.
You're a big guy anyway.
But he's bigger than I am.
He was like 6'8", something around there?
Yeah, big, powerful guy.
Now, Norm Cash wins the American League Batting Championship in 1961, I believe it was, or 62. You got a Norm Cash story?
Yeah, I got a butte. After I got through umpiring regular, I used to fill in. I filled in for about 8 years.
From 71 to 1980.
Yeah. I used to go in if somebody was sick or somebody was hurt or something, and make the game, maybe work 2 games and then come back and stuff like that. Well, I got a call to go to Detroit. I go to Detroit, and I can't figure out, because Knapp was supposed to work first base, but nothing ever was wrong with Knapp. And he broke in this, not the same time I did, but a year after me. And so when I got out there, I said, what's the matter with Knapp? He said, don't you know? I said, no, I don't know. He said, they're threatening to shoot Knapp. He called a play against Detroit yesterday when they lost the game. He got notified he was going to get shot.
A death threat, huh?
Yeah. I got to go out and work first debate. So with that, I looked around, and of course they had detectives all over the place and stuff like that. So I looked around, and I said, God darn it. So I never talked to Cash too much. I mean, he wasn't a talkative guy. So I never did many players walk up and talk to him. But after every inning, I'd walk up to Cash and stand beside him and talk about this, that, and the other thing. About the 50th, he said, how the hell are you getting to come out and talking to me so much? I never talked to you this much since I've been in the league. I said, haven't you heard? He said, heard what? I said, there's somebody up in the stands there going to shoot Knapp. And I said, oh, and I made have on a big sign that Hank Soar was on first base. So,
just in case the guy was ready.
Yeah. It wasn't Knapp.
Huh?
See, I said, haven't you heard that Knapp was going to get shot? And I said, they're going to shoot me. They're going to get you. Get the heck out. Yeah, that was with Cash.
So you had Cash and K-Line for the Tigers, who were a nice hitting combo, right?
Oh, they were great. They were great players. They had a good balanced ball club all the way around.
How about one of the great glovemen of the 1960s, Brooks Robinson?
Boy, I'll tell you, I saw him play third base, and many times. And everything was spectacular. Every play, he'd go out and he'd backhand the play, throw the guy. He didn't have a good arm, but he'd throw the guy out. And I'd say, oh boy, that was a beaut. He said, hey, I haven't seen anything yet, Hank. And he did. I didn't. He would dive at a ball, and he'd come up with it, and he'd come up throwing on every ball. Like I said, his arm wasn't that good, but he could really play that third base. I think he was one of the, as far as I was concerned, he was the best third baseman in the league. Yeah. And all the time I was in the league.
Now, one of the best hitters in the 1960s who won a number of batting championships, Tony Oliva, Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, Tony was came from Venezuela. Tony boy knew baseball from one end to the other. I went to Venezuela and did some games down there, exhibition games, and Tony Tony was with me, and he showed me all the stuff around. Very likable guy, and a great hitter.
Yeah, was he big?
Yeah, oh sure, he's 6'2". A big rugged guy, and he knew his game. He knew his game.
Yeah.
And he would bat up there, and if you call a strike on a curveball, he said, Hanky, threw a curveball? Yeah. He said, I'll catch him next time.
Sure
and
enough.
He'd catch him, boy, knock him. He was a great hitter.
Yeah. 1968, the last time anyone wins 30 games in a year, Denny McLean?
Yeah.
What type of pitcher was he during his heyday?
He was a big, heavy guy. Sometimes he'd be in shape, and sometimes he wouldn't be in shape. I don't know what his nightlife was or what he did, but he could really go out and throw that ball over that plate.
Yeah. Imposing figure up there?
Pardon?
He was an imposing figure?
Yeah, right, yeah. If they hit it, he used to break a lot of bats too, with the strength of his ball coming in there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. The handles would.
And so that year that he must have just been unhittable.
That's right, right.
Yeah. Now let's go into some of the managers that you must have had some confrontations with. One of the great ones who went through the 50s and early 60s with the Mets, Casey Stengel.
Oh, Casey, yeah. That's one he lost right there.
Yeah, we'll show this photo up in a couple of minutes. What was he like? I mean,
well, he double talked you.
What's double talk, Hank?
They not saying anything. See?
Oh, when he's going out there arguing with you? Just...
Yeah.
All right, so here's a picture.
He wouldn't know.
Tell us about this story.
There was Yogi Berra hit that ball. That was taken in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And it went up the stands up there. And what they're arguing about, and I was on first base, and I ran out, and I saw the ball hit the stands out there. There's a piece maybe 3 or 4 feet from the stands. They got really.
Stengel's giving you a hard time right here, right?
Yeah, he's trying to.
He's trying to, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to. But and that's Summers in back of Stengel.
Yeah.
And that's Runge over here laughing. And I went out and saw the play, and the ball hit the wall right here, bounced down. And of course, there was hands down there, but it didn't hit anybody's hands. He's arguing that somebody stuck their hands to interfere with the play.
Yeah.
He wanted a home run because he figured the ball would carry right into it. It didn't even go into the stand if the guy hadn't touched it. But the guy didn't touch it. So I wouldn't give it to him. So that's me giving it to him with a finger, yeah. They said...
Now, did you throw him out of the game?
Not him. I threw Cossetti. He's in the back there.
Frank Cossetti?
He wouldn't keep his mouth shut. So I said, get out. I can't waste my time with you.
How about Earl Weaver? Now, Earl Weaver was known to bait the umpires and the rest. You have any confrontation? You had to have a couple of confrontations with Earl Weaver.
He never bothered me. I'll tell you why.
Why is that?
He bothered Marty Springstead, who is now the supervisor of umpires. I came in to fill in one of those games down in and I said, how's everything going, Marty? And this was before he was a supervisor. He was a regular umpire. He said, I can't get rid of that Weaver. He said, he gives me a pain in the neck. Every little thing he's out there. I said, okay. If he does it today, I'll come in, and you just keep him busy. I'll come in, and I'll fix him. So we wear golf spikes on our shoes. So I had my spikes, golf spikes, you know.
Yeah. Why do you have golf spikes as opposed to regular baseball spikes?
Oh, yeah, they're easier on your feet standing still, you know.
Okay.
You run it so you won't slip.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I took my old spikes out and put a brand new set of long ones in there, like this. So I go out there, and sure enough, he charges out at the game, and he gets at Marty Springstead. And so I walk over there, and I walk in between them, and I said, now, Marty, get out of here. And I push him back at me, and I get in between the Weaver and everything like that. And Marty don't go because I hold, instead of pushing him away, I hold on to him. See, because I got to turn around to him. So with that, and he's wearing kangaroo shoes.
Weaver is.
Yeah, that very thin leather and everything, but beautiful shoes. And I step on his foot, and I twist around like this, and like, Marty, get out of here, Marty. And here's Weaver. He said, you're standing on my foot. I said, well, get your foot out from under my feet. Next time he comes out, he's out there looking like this. He's making sure nobody gets near him. And he's watching me down the other end. But he didn't stay. He just went out and said something with the umpire and walked. He didn't stay. That was the end of him up there. Fixed him in a hurry.
Yeah, and were there any of the managers that you liked more than others, or that gave you a hard time? Any memorable other managers, Hank?
Well, when I first broke in, I had a guy. His name is Zach Taylor. He was manager of the Browns, St. Louis Browns.
Yeah.
And they told me when I broke in that he would be out. And here's another Casey Stengel, you know, one of those guys. Well, the Browns had one baseball hat, one shirt, one pair of pants, one socks, and one whatever they did. They only got one. Other clubs have dozen suits and everything else to wear. So he comes out on a play. I don't know what the heck about the play was. Didn't amount to roll pins. But anyway, he comes out, and I knew he had. And if he takes his hat off, he's going to throw it on the ground. And he took his hat off, and I said, I knew he'd do. He'd throw his hat. I said, if you throw that hat on the ground, you're out of here. And of course, bang goes the hat. So I step in the middle of the hat with my shoe. See. Now I turn around and I'm looking away like this, and he's tugging on the hat.
No.
And it ripped right through the middle. No, he's got two hats instead of one. So.
And did you still throw him out of the game?
Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Now the umpires, right? You had some character umpires. Nestor Shylock.
Very good umpire, one of the best in baseball. Did
you work some games with Nestor?
He took my place in the New England League. When I was in the New England League, when I went to American Association, he took my place. And a couple of years later, they asked me if I had any good umpires. I said two of them. I got two. I got Jim Duffy up there and Nestor Shylock. I said, I don't think Nestor's quite ready yet, but don't keep him in mind. And they brought him up. He turned out to be a great umpire with him.
Yeah. Marty Springstead.
Marty was... well, he was a pretty good umpire, but not that. Well, he come out a little wishy-washy, one of those type.
Yeah. Bill McGowan.
Bill McGowan was always number one.
Why is that?
Because they used to vote what the hell that sport paper they have out?
Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated.
Oh, Sporting News?
Sporting News, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They voted him, but I beat him out one year, and he never got over it.
As a top umpire?
I was the top ball and strike man that year, and the following year I was a top baseman.
Oh.
But he was all through then.
Now, how would they rank that, Hank?
I don't know how they can figure it.
Yeah.
Because it's. One umpire, the only way I always judge umpires is how they handle a ball game. If they got to have complete control of the game. You're the boss out there. Don't be smart, Alec. Don't be looking for trouble. If it comes, handle it, and know what you're talking about. Know your rules and everything else. Afternoons we had a night game. We always took our rule book. And put it aside the bed like this and open it up. And then if you woke up from a sleep or anything, you take the book and wherever the book opened to, you'd read the thing. Many, many times I had plays that would happen that I would know the rule and the other guys wouldn't know the rule just because I happened to read it in
the night before when you woke
up.
Is that right?
I had one happen in Chicago where the ball was thrown to the first baseman and the ball went to the pitcher. The first baseman threw to the pitcher, and he stepped on the plate, but the ball got out of his hand, and it was inside of his shirt, and it's hanging inside of his shirt. Now he runs across first base, and I'm on second base, and the umpire called him out. Whoa, whoa! I went flying over there to the umpire. I said, he's not out. He's got to have possession of that ball in his hand. He said, no, I'm right. The other two umpires went in his favor. I said, I'm going to take it on my shoulders. I said, he's not out. Well, we think he has. So we went back and we read the book, and of course I was right.
Yeah.
I said, well, we didn't know. I said, a good thing you had me with you, wasn't it? Huh?
Now, Hank, what skills do you need to become a good major league baseball umpire?
You got to be dedicated to the game, and you got to use good common sense on your play.
Dedicated to the game. What do you mean by that, Hank?
You got to. When I say dedicated to the game, you got to like what you're doing out there. We got a lot of guys that they think that if they go out there, that nobody should say a word to them,
Yeah.
But you gotta figure out who the guy is or what kind of a guy he is. If a guy's a pest that just won't shut up, you gotta get rid of him. I talk about getting rid of guys. I don't think I get 3 guys a year.
Is that right?
I used to do it on purpose sometimes just to get, so the guys wouldn't say you wouldn't get
So
it.
you never throw anyone out.
Yeah. Just something like that.
So we're just about ready to wrap up the show. This has been 2 hours of great stories. You know, you've had an unbelievable life, Hank, athletic life and everything else. Words of wisdom. Sum it all up. You know, you're talking from the early 1920s, you know, into probably the early 1980s. 60 years, 55 years of all sports and everything else.
I'd do it all over again.
Would you really?
Yeah, I really would.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anything. Football, I wouldn't change anything in football.
You played New York Giants football 10 years, professional football.
I played with the Boston Shamrocks, too, in 1936.
Right, before you, after PC and before the
That was
Giants.
my senior year in college.
Then we talked about your basketball career with All-State and at Pawtucket High, and then also a professional basketball coach. For the Providence Steamrollers.
Well, I'm not too proud of that. I won 2 and lost 17. The guy took my job. We won 4 and lost 28, so we had one hell of a year between the two of us.
And then moved on to a Major League Baseball umpire. So you had told me before, I don't think there's anyone in the history of athletic sports who was a NFL football player, a professional basketball coach, and a Major League umpire.
Right.
Well, Hank, you know, there's no doubt in my mind that you are the greatest athlete in the history of the city of Pawtucket. Really appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights into your athletic career, and thanks very much for being on Good Sports.
Well, thank you very much for